Welcome, welcome back. So wonderful to see you, beloveds. All of you who are here in all different time frames. And I wanted to just mention the song we were singing. I'll say the words one more time before we bring in our little invocation for today. It's from Shatastari, who is a Sufi from way, way back. I have no idea how long ago. But the words are, go sweep out the chambers of your heart, and you'll see how this is so connected to the card today of the 10 of Swords. And it's that sense of really going along with this reckoning of everything emptying out. And so there's this beautiful sense of sweeping out everything. And it says, in you, void of yourself. And what I understand that to mean is that when you're no longer blended and believe you're all these different little parts inside, when you can be in that conscious self, that larger framework, looking and observing and witnessing, that's what Shatastari is speaking to, is that place in soul work where we have the witness to understand that we are not all of these little parts of ourselves.
And then the beloved can come down.
That's right. And then the love comes in. So I'm going to share the screen and we'll say the our invocation for today. If I can remember how to do all this. Having been gone for a number of weeks, I feel a little rusty.
Your IT skills.
Right. So this is I'm hearing an echo. We'll see.
That's it. To make sure you're muted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's, you're not muted. I got you.
We got it. All right.
Okay. So this is from Anayat Khan, and I love this prayer. It's an intention that we bring in with this card, with this day today. Let your wish become my desire. And this wish that we're talking about, your, is who is the your? It's that really that larger self inside of us. It's high self. It's that sense of the source from which we all come from, to be able to connect into that unity.
Let your
wish become my desire. Let your will become my deed. Let your word become my speech, beloved, and your love become my creed. Let my plant bring forth your flowers. Let my fruit produce your seed. Let my heart become your lute, beloved, and my body your flute of reed. And here is the card for today. It is a bit of a downer card, or at least it looks like quite a downer card.
From the perspective of many of the cells inside, they're like, egad.
Egad, how could we? And it's interesting that in the tarot that the tens, there's this card really represents to me the clearing out in order to be able to come to the culmination, to the fullness, to the newness of that 10 card is like, it's the fullness of everything we've been looking at, which it's also that sense of the fullness of our life when we come into something. And you can say sometimes we have to really clear out before we can get to that. And that's what this card represents. As you can see, the tents are on fire in the background, which to me really speaks to that place of everything burning up that maybe we put a little bit too much struggle and push into in our lives. It's also a really interesting piece to me that the swords are in the ground. And Aida Hussein, who did these cards called the Sufi Tarot, she speaks to a particular poem / story that Rumi tells about how important it is that this man says, what are you doing to the ground? And he has some aeration going on. He's putting something into the ground. And he says, sometimes if things look like they're being devastated, when really it's clearing the way, it's aerating it, it's bringing in more of that space so that there's the possibility of something new to grow. And that's what this card really represents. You can see she's devastated, and so she's kind of overwhelmed with kind of the hopelessness, helplessness, sadness. But at the same time, there's this sense of aerating the ground, of creating some space that something new can grow.
So I'll just say, where we're living right now, there was a tremendous snow and windstorm in the Portland area. And we have 2 friends staying with us because the tree fell, they have no power. And their neighborhood, several houses were destroyed. And I think that's representing that, also the devastation that comes from outside when things are beyond our control and it looks like our life is shattered to ruins. But that, from this perspective, is that a space can open up. So I'm going to do my one Zen haiku that I remember from my teacher, Rabia. I'll do it and then I'll say what it means.
Should we do it without the card so they can see you?
Oh yeah,
well?
sure,
Yeah,
that'd be better. I'll be big.
Yeah. Here
Remember
we go.
the card, okay. My house burned down last night. I can see the horizon more clearly now. I think that's the card for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's involve ourselves in the body with this. And we're going to go through all of the elements because I think in this card, that's what it represents, is all the different efforts we've taken to try to make things work, to come to our culmination, to get things right, to get it into all these different selves inside who want it to be a certain way, who want life to be happy or pretty or whatever it is, or lovely, harmonious, peaceful, whatever that is. So we're going to, and those are all wonderful things, but life doesn't always turn out that way. So we're going to feel in first to our feet on the ground, and we're going to be breathing in and out that earth breath, which is in through the nose, out through the nose. Deep, long, rich breaths. And as we breathe in, we're going to really kind of pull the energy into ourselves. And then on the exhale, we're going to push it out, like we're pushing, controlling all those parts of us that want things to be different. We're trying to create things the way we want. Sometimes we want to manipulate it, shift it, change it. Really feel that way those parts of us want to control. Think of all the areas in our lives that we want to control. I want to control the internet at times. Get it to really do what I want.
I want to control the weather. I'd like it a little warmer right now.
So feel that luxurious experience of breathing in all that life force energy, and then the way we exert it out to take control. Feel the muscles in your body as you do that. You're beginning to feel your legs connecting with the floor, your arms really pushing out. Feel the strength in your back. May even feel the strength in your knees. Even in your shoulders. You can imagine you're manipulating something. All those cells that want to change things, taking your hands, pushing it, or taking your hands and making whatever it is into the shape you want. One more time, really letting yourself feel this big breath. And just feel how that feels in your body as you let yourself come back to this place. It may feel fulfilling, it may feel a little like empty, because sometimes it doesn't really do any good. And so we're going to come to the next place that often happens, which is the fire. We're going to make it work. We're going to create change. We're going to do something big. So we breathe in through the mouth, breathing in that air, and again we're going to hold it inside. We're going to feel all that energy, and then we're going to take it out on the exhale as we breathe out through our nose. In through the mouth, sucking it up, and then out through the nose. And we're going to really let ourselves create that space, make things happen. Fireworks burning down the house. We're going to make this work. It reminds me of like all the work going on today. We're going to make this work. No messing around anymore. Feel that energy just filling you up. And then let all those cells that really want to say, I don't like this, I want to make this change, I'm not going to go along with this. Let them express themselves. No one's going to get hurt. We're just going to create some space all around us. So we get to feel our fire, our anger, our space making. We can create space with our legs and kick. We can create space even with our hips, pushing everything out. We can create space with our arms. We can create space even with our noise. With our whole being. Let your whole body create that space. Burn it down right now. It's just air. And again, come back to your body. Breathing in, feeling what that feels like. Maybe there's a little bit more space. But also, sometimes it can feel so ineffective to all these cells that are trying so hard to protect us. And so what we're going to feel right now is that sense of how we go into sometimes a helplessness, a hopelessness. So we're going to breathe in through the nose, breathing in all the energy again, all that sense of not sure where to go, what to do anymore. And we're breathing out through pursed lips, the water breath. So we're going to breathe it in, and you can imagine that figure in the card. Maybe you put your hands over your eyes on the breathing in. And then you just let yourself for a moment feel all those ways that we kind of freeze and go into hopelessness or helplessness. All those parts inside of ourselves that are afraid nothing's going to work out. It's never going to get any better. So remember always on that inhale to come back to letting that energy fill you up, and then let it go on that exhale. And just letting all those cells know it's okay to feel these things because we're here and we're just letting ourselves go through all these ways in which we feel so human, all of our controlling, all of the ways in which we're angry and want to change things and burn them up, and then ways in which we can feel so depressed, hopeless, helpless. And let that yourself take one more really deep, rich, full breath in of this place of the water where we can get so immersed and feeling like things will never get better. And again, we just let ourselves gently begin to clear out even this. Cleared out some of the control, some of the anger and that frustration and making it change. And then now we're clearing out even that hopelessness and the helplessness. Being with all those parts and yet also not letting them take over. Because we're going to go into now the air breath. The swords represent the air. We're going to breathe in and out through our mouth. So again, we breathe in the air, breathing it into all of our being. And on that exhale, we're going to start with just making a really gentle space around us. Just now, we're doing kind of like that song that we started with, which was go sweep out the chambers of your heart. Now we're just gently letting this breeze blow. We bring it in with the inhale, and then we let it blow out, creating space, lightness. We're going to let that space and lightness permeate our toes and our feet. So we're going to just like breathe into them and let them move a little bit gently, imagining they're there in the breeze and they have some ability to move, to create space in between the toes, space in the soles of the feet. Breathe into the toes and the feet on the inhale. And then let them move and create that lightness. You can do it with each foot. Letting your feet find that space. They don't have to hold and to control anymore or be rigid with anger and pushing. They don't have to be helpless, hopeless. They can just feel the space of what it feels like to both be substance and material and yet at the same time have lightness, airiness. And let's bring it all the way up now to our shins and our knees and our thighs, all the rest of our legs, letting those legs breathe in that air into the legs and letting the legs become airy, spacious. They say that birds' bones are hollow to keep them able to fly. So we're going to hollow out our bones, make room between the muscles and the ligaments. As we breathe in that air, and then let the legs gently become those airy pieces. Sturdy but airy. And then breathing it all the way up into the hip sockets where they connect with the hips, the legs. Breathing it into the pelvis. Breathing it into the genital organs and the base of the spine. The perineum. You can even imagine that the air's coming now directly into the body from the perineum. So as we breathe in, we're filling this whole hip area with light, with airiness, with letting it really become filled with that sense of more space. And we find any area that might feel a little bit more dense, and we just let it know we're here with it, but we're asking it to just make some room. All is okay. We're in a safe place. And we continue to go up into from the perineum now we're breathing up into the belly, the solar plexus, where all of our organs are. You can imagine there's quite a lot going on in that area of our body. But we're letting there become space, airiness, lightness. So moving that area, just gently finding what feels good to help create that space, that lightness, that airiness. Just like a gentle breeze is blowing your body, blowing through all the cells of your body. And you're just moving with that breeze. And bringing it all the way up into your heart area. And really the heart and all the ribs, the back of your heart. Just feel how there can be, like a cage sometimes around your heart with the ribs that protect it. And see if you can create some space by letting your breath come in there. Asking all the cells that are afraid of opening your heart to just watch and step aside for a moment, as you create some space for something new in your heart. Breathing into the heart from the perineum all the way up. And then letting the heart just really create the space it yearns for, it longs for, that the whole body longs for. And breathing it all the way up now into your upper chest and your shoulders, all the way from the perineum. Breathing that wonderful life force energy up into the shoulders and the upper chest, the upper back, to create that spaciousness again, that lightness, the breeze, the airiness going through every cell. With each inhale, just coming back to that influx of air coming from the perineum. All the way up this airy channel that we have through our bodies now. We have this huge airy channel through the perineum, coming all the way up into the shoulders. Letting ourselves move those shoulders, find that way that the bones of the shoulders become lightened. And now moving the air all the way down through the arms. Right arm, left arm, and letting those wings become lighter and lighter. Breezy, filled with air. And breathing again up through the perineum, all the way up to the neck. Letting your neck be filled again with this airiness, lightness, space. And breathing up all the way from the perineum up into your head. Letting your feet be sturdy on the ground as you feel into letting your head really open up on that exhale, becoming breezy, open. Feet are sturdy. With each breath, feet stay there. Up through the perineum, all the way up to your head. Asking all the parts that are saying, oh, I don't know, there's things to do, I have to deal with this. Just asking them to step aside for right now. Letting your whole body feel the influx of that energy and become more and more airy with each exhale. And now we will breathe through the crown center, infusing the head, the neck, going all the way down. And we're going to breathe through the perineum and through the crown center and meet in the heart with our inhale. And then continue to create that space throughout the whole being of you as you exhale. A few more breaths like that, in through the crown, in through the perineum. Meeting in the heart, letting the space just unfold. One more like that. And then letting your whole body become quiet. Come back to your normal breathing. And just notice. And letting that space be there, that lightness, that airiness, as you float over to a chair and give yourself some support. Stand, sit, whatever
posture you're the most comfortable with. Helping the horse body be as comfortable, as relaxed as it can. And just using my voice as a guide for the guided meditation part of soul work. You may find connecting with your guidance, your high self, and moving in different directions or different speeds. That's fine too. I invite you to imagine your chest is soft and porous into this wonderful place of the heart that Gaia brought us to. Just letting the breath flow in and out of your heart. Just inviting all the different cells to pay attention to the breath flowing in and out, and especially bringing their loving attention and awareness to your heart. If you wish, putting a gentle, slight smile to bring that quality of love to the sacred space of your heart. Maybe managing parts that want to pull you away or do something. Just asking them to either step aside or to just join you in bringing love, awareness to the sacred space of your heart. And as we move more deeply to our inner life, just listening to these few words. The sun world dissolving. Bathing in moonlight. Dreaming while awake. So open to the sacred space of your heart in whatever way it presents itself today. And you might just feel that kinesthetically. You might have an image or vision arising. There might be a sound or a smell, a fragrance, or a taste. But just imagine in whatever way, or just imagining the sacred space of your heart. And perhaps it's a place you've been to before, in a dream or in real life, or in another soul work session. Perhaps it's an entirely new space, but spend a few moments to just wander, to explore the sacred space of your heart in whatever way it's presenting itself today. Using the inner senses to explore. And there's no right way to do this, whatever arises, but just holding that intention to dwell in the chambers of your heart. And we're all in our own way, many of our different selves are trying to create heaven on earth, whether it's through money or fame. Some of us are opening through meditation to the heaven in the heart. And that's this place you're dwelling in right now. And as you continue to rest there, allowing your breath to flow in and out with each inhalation, bringing in light and love. With each exhalation, releasing anything ready to be released. But just opening more and more to the sacred space of your heart. And if there's an aspect of the mental judge saying, you're not doing it right, it should look like this, just asking the judge to step aside, letting him or her or they, them know there's no way to do it right or wrong. We're each unfolding in our own path, in our own way. We're each finding our own way. And then when you're ready, with love and respect, call upon your high self to come into the sacred space of your heart for a time of communion, a time of guidance, a time of dialogue. But just by breathing in, whether you experience high self as a presence, a sense of peace or fullness or love, or there's a wise being or a sphere of light or an animal ally, however high self comes to you today, or just that intention to open to this mystery of your being, this larger self, this point of contact with the source, with the universe, with this one song that we're all this note in. And just breathing in the blessing of high self and breathing back thanks and gratitude, inviting any selves to join with you or to step aside. Letting the energy of high self permeate and infuse all the cells, all the organs in your body. It's really allowing this sense of rest, of peace, of embodied presence. As you're held by high self, that you can relax into your being. Nothing to do, nowhere to go right now. And then when you're ready, you can just stay communing, or if you wish, you can ask beloved high self any guidance, any way to help with those times and places of devastation in my life. Any guidance for those that have happened, to help heal them, that are happening now or that may happen in the future. Whatever guidance I invite into you, whether it comes as a sense, thoughts, an image, or maybe later on in a dream. But I invite you, high self, I welcome your guidance on how to face the outer world with its challenges and its devastations, its overwhelming times that happen. And guidance on how to help any different selves or parts that can get so worried or upset. We'll come to them in just a minute. But anything from high self about how to approach, how to hold them. How can we bring your healing energy, the way we just have to our bodies, to selves and parts that may be distraught or collapsed, as the woman in the card? How can we begin to plant the sword of the mind and the worries into the ground? And if you wish, you can stay communing, receiving guidance from a high self, or you might go to some time in your life in the past or the present or some part that worries about the future and invite this self in to your heart. And just invite this self in and notice how as this self comes into your heart, how do you feel this self and the sensations in your body? And what feelings or emotions come? And what thoughts or beliefs? And if there's an image of this self too, aside from the body image, the emotional image, the thought image, there's a visual image of this self. Perhaps like the woman in the card. And what does this self want to do? Does this self want to collapse or fight or get willful? Those elements that Yaya led us through earlier. And take a moment to really make sure this self knows you're here with high self. Let this self know you see and hear this one, but really allowing them to become aware of your presence as conscious self and the presence of high self. And there may be other selves in the background too, but especially letting this one know you and high self are here. Perhaps you sit quietly in front or gently hold a hand or just let them see you, but being patient, especially with the collapsed ones. Letting them know, we know you'll come out of it, but I am here when you're ready to know I'm here. I'm here to be present with you, first of all, to listen and understand what it's like for you, second. And if and when you want guidance or direction, but otherwise I'm just really here to be with you and to listen and to know you. To bring compassion and understanding to you. And I open to, if you're ready, if there's anything you want, any way I can help you or high self can help you, especially on this inner level. But what can I do? Whether it's something simple inside, or listening to music, or going for a walk, or how can I help you? Or just being with you and holding you, perhaps. Taking a moment to see if there's anything else this one needs or wants or wishes to communicate today, whether it's memories or whatever. We open, we're holding a space for you. And you might ask this one what their job or role is. What do they see as their work in the psyche? What are they trying to do? And what are they afraid would happen if they don't do this? Especially if they're a protector. They may just be the wound underneath. Really letting them know you're here with high self. Beginning to see again and know you, and they may think you're young, but letting them know your current age and how you're there to bring all the compassion and wisdom and presence you've gathered over your life to be and to listen. So they're not alone anymore. And just take a moment. You can invite this one and stay with it this way, or invite this one to come into the breath of unity with you and high self. But before we close, you're ready just gathering all the selves that are here in a circle that may have been listening or being present. And just take a moment to go around this inner circle, letting each self know, I see you, I hear you, I'll get to know you over time. And inviting all the selves to breathe with you, to breathe with high self, breathing together. And be also aware of all of us gathered here through space and time, breathing together, supporting each other in our inner work, feeling the presence of each of our high selves, bringing blessing, light, love to our inner families and to this outer community. And then thanking all the selves for being here, high self. And then as you're ready, we'll take a deep breath in, we'll bow down to our inner life with the sacred sound, Hu. And then we'll take another breath, bowing to our outer life and holding our inner and outer lives in balance. As you're ready, you can come at our frame, or you may go at your own frame as we bring our soul work to a close for this morning. And then take a moment to reflect on your journey that's gathering here this morning. Just like a dream, remembering the dream, any things that are important for you in the talk or the induction or in the guided soul work, just reflecting on it like a dream. You might just do that quietly, or maybe you just want to stretch and remember, or make a note or drawing, whatever. Just taking a minute or two to gather, to reflect, to remember.